Hello, 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 vision building women. This is Dr. Saundra. I am so sorry I'm a little bit late tonight. We had some things going on here at the house, and so I'm getting on a little bit late on tonight. Um, Come on in, come on in. I'll wait for a few of you to come in. I tell you what, it has been an amazing day. And had a lot of things going on and everything. But I tell you what, God is so good. And I have something I want to share with you tonight about what being busy will keep you from. Two things that I've learned that being busy will actually keep you from. I'm drinking this drink to help my throat a little bit and to help with digestion. Some of you may have heard of this. It's called kombucha. Anybody ever heard of this drink right here? My brother has me drinking this, and it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. I've been drinking it and had some really good results with it in terms of my there we go. Camera's a little bit better though. In terms of digestion and that sort of thing. But I wanted to come on tonight because I don't want to be on here long because I know that you all are busy. I don't like to use that word, but I'm going to use that word tonight for a particular reason. I'm using that word for a specific reason on tonight. I'm coming to you from my computer also. Normally, I don't come to you from my computer. I come to you from my phone, but I'm coming to you from my computer. I see lots of people are coming in, so come on in. When you come in, please let me know you're here. Let me know you're here just by saying hello or something like that, so I will know that you are on, you can hear me okay, and that sort of thing. And let me know who's here. Oh, you know what? Hold on just a second. Let me go to my Facebook here and let me get on here with you. How's that? Then think about that. And that way I can see who is here. All right. Hey, Christy, thank you. Welcome, welcome, everybody. All right, hold on here. Let's see. There I am. Ha. Okay, so now let me turn this on. Let me turn this down. Ah, wonderful. Now I can see. For some reason, for whatever reason, the computer doesn't show who's on as well as the phone does. And so I see a lot more, the number is higher on the phone than it is in the computer. So I'm not exactly sure how that works. But good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Saundra. So glad to be with you on tonight. Last week, I took some time to get my own filling up. I went over to Destiny International Ministries with my mentor, and she had an awesome service there. We had awesome teaching there. And so I was over there with them, and that was absolutely amazing, and I loved it. So I need to be filled up. When you pour out, I just had this conversation the other day with someone that when you pour out as much as we do, then you need to be poured back into. And so that's what I did. So on last week. Now on this week, though, I want to talk to you a little bit about what busyness will rob from you. I called it two things that busyness will keep from you. But I want to actually talk about what busyness will rob you from. And, this is so important, especially at this time of year. Hey, Judith Mayen, how are you? Good to see you on here. And I see a lot of new people on here that I haven't seen on before. So hello, everybody. Some of you are in the Action Plus Results Boot Camp. Hello. Some of the vision coaches are here. Hello, everybody. Thanks again for everybody coming in. And I'm glad you all are here because, I want to discuss something with you tonight that is something that if you don't get fixed in January, okay, let's get this right. If you don't get fixed in January, then the rest of your year is going to be a problem for you. Okay, if you don't get this fixed in January, then the rest of your year is going to be a problem for you. Now, I'm just going to be open and honest with you. And the reason I tell you that is because we as women, we as people in general, we spend a lot of time doing stuff. And what I found is, and I found this through working in my company, I found this in my experience with community colleges. I found this with my experience as a professor, just in all the different things that I've done, all the different things that I've had the opportunity to do. I found that busyness will rob you of something. And it is amazing to me how we tend to stay busy during this time of the year. And the reason that we tend to stay busy during this time of the year is because it's January. And if you're watching this on a replay, and I've put this on YouTube, so I've got videos that people are still watching from 2 and 3 years back. So if you're watching this on the replay, it is January 2020. And because it's a new year, it's a new decade, there's so many new things wrapped around 2020 that all the things that we haven't done, we try to squeeze them into this year. And sometimes we try to squeeze it into the 1 month. And I will tell you that what that does is it causes so much, how can I say, it'll cause overwhelm. It'll cause you to begin to ask yourself, am I getting all the things done that I need to get done? You go to your journal, or you go to your stack of folders, or you go to whatever it is, and you see all these things that you haven't done, and then you try to cram them into January. Some of them could have been things from last year. Some of them could have been things from the year before. But whatever it is, you try to cram all of this stuff into 1 year. Okay? So, but what that does is that causes you to have so much going on, and then you get so busy that you tend not to focus on the things you should really be focusing on. Okay. Now, we just did an exercise in the Action Plus Results Bootcamp that it just amazed me in terms of the amount of time that you spend on things. I may have talked about this in the last email list that I sent out. And oh, by the way, if you are not on my email list, please, 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 because there are some things that go out on email that don't happen in the group. And I'm going to put my how you get on my email list. Okay, so there's the link right there to get on my email list, drsaundraspeaks.com. Just go there, put in your name, put in your email. That's all I need, your name and your email, and you'll automatically get in on my email list. And so, but people that have so much going on. I sent out an email the other day, and I may have put it in here too, because somebody else does that for me. So she has a regimen of how she does stuff and where she puts it. But bottom line is, I talked about busyness, and we tend to get so busy in this part of the year. And this time of the year, January, we try to join gyms, we try to do diets, we try to, if we're not dieting, we try to eat better. If we're not doing that, we say we're going to spend more time with certain people. If we're not doing that, we try to declutter, we try to do all these different things, and we try to cram it into January. Well, here's the thing I want to share with you, is that when all of that starts to happen, sometimes you get so busy that you miss out on some things. And what I found, there are several things that being busy will keep you from. All right, there are several things that being busy will keep you from, but I want to share with you too, because I'm trying to do better with my time online. All right. And so because I'm trying to do better with my time online, then instead of giving you 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 things, I'm going to give you 1 or 2. Okay. And then we may come back to it later, that sort of thing. But this is how I'm going to do from here now on, so we won't be on here so long. And that way you'll have time to listen to it on your drive to work or wherever. Okay. So now, 2 things that being busy will keep from you. And here's the first one. Well, first of all, let me give you this right here, that one day I was looking at this busyness, and I looked all of the stuff that was on my desk and things that I could delegate, that sort of thing. And I've never been a very good delegator. I've learned how to delegate, okay, but I've never been a very good delegator, okay? And so, but I looked on my desk and looked at all the different things that I needed to just get off of my plate onto somebody else's plate that was much better at doing it. And then I realized, you know what? The reason that I'm going under and I feel like I've got so much to do is because I'm busy. I'm busy. And I don't want to be busy. We need to be productive. Now, here's the thing. You can move from busy to productive, back to being busy again, to being productive. But what I've learned is that when I'm productive all the time, I see certain outcomes of productivity. Okay. When I'm productive all the time, I see certain outcomes of productivity. And so then I also realize that when I am not productive, okay, then what happens is that when I'm not productive and I'm just busy, I find myself missing out on some things. And those are the two things I want to talk to you about tonight. The things that you miss out on, two things in particular that you miss out on when you are busy and not productive. But first of all, let me give you a definition or something that the Lord gave me of being busy. But before I do that, let me stop. My mom and dad are on. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad. How y'all doing? I just saw my mom and dad pop up. And so my mom and dad are on tonight. So praise the Lord. They're here tonight. All right. So what the Lord showed me about being busy. So I want you to write this down. If you're writing, I want you to write this down. BUSY. Okay. That when you are busy, that it will be unnecessary suffering to you. Okay. That being busy will bring unnecessary suffering to you. And the thing about it is that you don't even realize what busyness is doing to you until it's done. Okay. You don't even realize that busyness will cause you not to not pay attention to those things that you really need to pay attention to. You don't even realize that until you're in a point of, oh my goodness, I should have been spending time on this, or I should have been spending time on that. When you're spending time on things that are not those kinds of things that are going to yield the kind of result that you want to yield. Okay. So now I am a big fan of just reading. My mom is on here. She can tell you that I read all the time. Okay. I love reading. I love that sort of thing. I love research. I love seeing what other people have said about certain things. And one of the things that I've found is that when we spend our time doing the wrong things and are not productive, we're just busy, then you're not going to get the kind of outcomes and the results that you're looking for. Okay. You're not going to get the kind of outcomes and the results that you're looking for. So what I want to do tonight is I want to tell you the two things that keep you from being busy so that you can think about what are those things that are on my plate right now that I can either not do, that you know what, I don't need to be doing this, or you can give to someone else, delegate, okay, or you can put off to another time. Now may not be the timing to do something. So remember that we said that being busy brings unnecessary suffering to you. BUSY brings unnecessary suffering to you. So we want to make sure you get that. So I don't want you to start off 2020 being busy. I don't want you to start off being 2020 just being so busy that you're not getting anything done. Because remember, I told you that everyone connected to me, we're going to be looking at action plus results. Action plus results. That's all I am thinking about in 2020, taking action, getting the kind of results that we're looking for. Now, whether it's in your job, whether it's in the church, regardless of where it is, you should be taking action, okay? Taking action and then getting some type of result. All right. You should not be idle. You should be, whatever your work is, you should be doing that. But I don't want you to confuse taking action with being busy. Now you need to make sure if you're writing, write that down. That don't confuse taking action with being busy, because they're two different things. All right. Different kind of teaching. But just write that down and put that in your notes, and maybe we'll hit that one later on in a different teaching. So now let's talk about these two things. What are the two things that being busy will keep you from? What are the two things that being busy will keep you from? Or busyness. You can call it being busy, busyness, whatever. And also remember that when somebody says that you're a busy person, you realize they're saying negative things about you. I want you to understand that. I thought forever that when somebody said I was busy, they were looking at me and they were saying, oh, she's got so much going on, she's doing so much. No, what they were saying is that I don't know how to prioritize what I'm doing. Okay, because that's really what being busy is. When you're busy and you're not getting things done, or you've got so much going on, it just means you don't know how to prioritize the work that you have or the things that you're doing. And one of the things that 2019 taught me was how to prioritize the things in my life. How do you prioritize all the things that you have to do? There's a lot of work that you have to do. Some of you work full time. Some of you are in business full time. Some of you are in ministry full time. Some of you are full-time caretakers. Some of you are retired. Doesn't matter what it is that you're doing, but whatever it is, the time that you have to learn to prioritize it, because you're not getting any more than 24 hours in a day. Okay. You're not getting any more than that. That's all you're getting. 8 of those you're supposed to be sleeping, right? Some of those, 8 of us, we should be working. 8 of those hours we should be working. That means you've got 8 hours to do whatever else it is that you need to do. And in that 8 hours, you have to learn how to prioritize. It's not about managing time. Someone asked me once, well, how do you manage your time? I don't manage something I have no control over. I don't have control over time. God gave everybody 24 hours in a day, and that is it. Okay. I can't make time. I can't take away time. I can't produce time. I cannot multiply time. I can't do anything with time. Okay. Other than live in it. All right. So how am I going to live in it? I'm going to live in it by looking at my priorities and managing the priorities that I have. And when you learn to manage your priorities, then you will see that the kinds of things that you thought you needed to do, that you don't really need to do them. Somebody else can do it. Or if it's something that should be a top priority, then you'll make it a top priority. You know, people always say, well, I'm too busy to go to the gym. Then what you're saying is that your health is not a priority. Okay, can I knock on my own door? Can I knock on my own door? Knock, knock, knock. Okay. You say, well, I'm too busy to try to diet, or let me go back to the one, I'm too busy to go to the gym, or I'm too busy to work out. That was my excuse for a long time. I'm too busy. I got too much to do. I don't feel like getting up, that sort of thing. Well, you know what? That leads us into the very first thing that busyness will keep from you. And I want you to write this down. I'm going to stay on that same vein with the example of what busyness will keep from you. So what's the number one thing that being busy will keep you from? Being busy will keep you from God's opportunities. I need you to write that down. That if you're writing, that being busy will keep you from God's opportunities. Now, you say, Dr. Saundra, God's opportunities. And you know what? I want to open something. Where is my my boot camp notebook here? Because in the boot camp, one of the things that I'm teaching the ladies that we looked at and we're teaching on are all the different areas that we have to prioritize and we have to focus. And I'm going to do this because I want to, here it is right here. All right. Want to look at the different areas of our life. And so when you think about God's opportunities, so many times you think about opportunities just in terms of being able to get higher or go get a promotion or something where you're going to a next level. But let me tell you, there are opportunities in your spiritual life. There are opportunities in your family life. There are opportunities with your physical health. There are opportunities with your mental and emotional, your own personal development. There are opportunities there. There are opportunities with your personal relationships. There are opportunities in your career. There are opportunities with your self-development or your self-investment. There's opportunities with your ministry, and there's opportunities in your calling, what God has called you to do. So, number one, you miss out on when you're busy, you miss out on God-given opportunities in every area of your life. I need you to get this. You miss out on God-given opportunities in every area of your life when you are busy. Let's go back to the health one for just a second. Let's go back there. Okay. So your personal, the opportunities in your personal physical health. Okay. So now you say that you're too busy to exercise. Now, been there, done that, said that over and over. Okay. Too busy to exercise, got too much going on, got too much work to do, don't have time to go to the gym. And these are all excuses I made. Gym's too far. I got to get up and go to work. I don't feel like going to the gym, coming home, taking a bath, then going back out. That's just too much ripping and running. Those are all excuses that I made. And they were all centered around, I've got too much to do. I'm just too busy. I got too much to do. Well, here's the thing. You know what happened? When you get my age, okay, and I am 56, I'll be 57 in July. When you get my age, and what happens is, things start to creep and hurt and, pull, things start pulling easier. You know why? It's because you lost an opportunity to make your muscles stronger. You lost an opportunity to make yourself stronger because you decided you were too busy to go exercise. See, people don't think about that often. I want to broaden your perspective tonight on being busy in the areas that busyness and the opportunities that busyness can keep you from. Because if you don't recognize that busyness can keep you from all of these different areas, then what will happen is you'll be so busy over here in one area that you're going to miss a God opportunity in another area of your life. All right. So let's look at another one. Your spiritual self. Your spiritual development. Okay. You say, well, you know what? I'm so busy that I'm tired and I can't get up in the morning and have that personal time with the Lord. Now, here's the thing. And let me just be real here. This is 2020 and I'm talking action and results. I'm not talking that little nice little stuff anymore. Not that I was talking the nice little stuff to begin with, but I'm not talking that nice little stuff anymore because so many times we want to get up and we want to, how can I say this? We want to spend, 10 minutes with the Lord. We want to spend 10 minutes with the Lord. And we call that reading our devotional. And it may speak to you. I'm not saying what it does or doesn't do. I'm not saying that. But we want to get up and we want to spend that little bit of time with Him. And then we want to have that hold us for the entire day. And we don't spend any intimate time with Him. We don't spend time getting in God's presence. All right. And we don't spend time just studying and reading your word. Okay. Reading, meditating, studying, those three different things. Okay. When I was at church this morning, the Lord, as my pastor was saying something, Bishop Brooks was preaching, the Lord just spoke to me and said that people read, but they don't meditate and they certainly don't study. Okay. And so how do we do those three things? Different teaching, but I just want to tell you that we spend a lot of time reading. But when you meditate on God's word and when you study God's word, it takes you into a whole different realm of how God is speaking to you. And so we don't do that. And so then here's what happens. Then what happens is we don't spend that kind of time. And then we come home at night or the afternoon, and then you've got homework to do. You've got kids to do. You've got your own schoolwork maybe to do. You've got church activities, whatever. Anyway, bottom line is now it's 9-10 o'clock at night. You're tired and you try to read your Bible. And then what happens is you end up doing one of these numbers, head gone back, sleep because you're tired, right? So you're not spending that quality time with the Lord. So how do you expect to develop spiritually when you're not spending quality time with God? All right. How do you expect to develop spiritually when you are not spending quality time with God? I'm just going to tell you. So you are missing out on opportunities, God-given opportunities, because you're not spending any time with Him. Okay. You're not spending, and people say, well, and this right here, I've done this, and I know that you, and I'm not telling you to stop doing what you're doing. What I'm telling you is to add on to what you're doing, add on some time with God, not just 10 minutes in the morning. Okay. But if you have to if you got an hour for lunch, forego 30 minutes, go to your car, okay, and read and meditate on the word. I'm telling you, this is a time, and we're in a time where you got to do something different. we want different things, but we want different results, but we're not willing to do different actions. We're not willing to do different actions. Okay, here's something that I did for years, okay, and called myself spending time with the Lord and that sort of thing. And that is driving to work and saying I'm praying while I'm driving to work. Now, how many of you have done that? You just raise wherever you are, just raise your hand, say me, okay, me, I've done it, praying and driving to work. Well, here's something that I found. And this is something that's one of those, I guess, medical facts. Those of you that are in the medical profession, you may know what the name of this is. I don't really remember, but is that your brain cannot do two things at one time. So if you are driving, then can you truly be praying and driving at the same time? And some of you say you can. Some of you say you can, and that's great. But you know what? Here's the thing. If I'm praying and driving at the same time, and I'm praying, asking the Lord, to keep me safe and to keep my family safe and to watch the other drivers on the road, that sort of thing, nothing wrong with that. What I'm talking about is when you want that kind of revelation from God, you need to get in his presence where there are no other distractions. And you can't tell me that when you're driving, you don't get distracted. Now, where you live, you might not get distracted, but I live in Raleigh, North Carolina, and there are distractions everywhere because people drive like they're from other places. We don't drive like we're in North Carolina, right? So people drive like they're in New York or something, cutting you off or speeding or whatever, right? So you lose spiritual opportunities. You lose spiritual opportunities for God to speak to you, for him to give you that information that you've been looking for your business. You've been wanting God to give you some information. God, give me something so that I can move forward with my business. God, give me that business idea. You've been looking for that, but help me here. How can God give you that when you don't spend quality time with him? So this is what I want you to see. I don't want you to think that opportunities only prevail themselves financially, or opportunities only come forth to make you go to a higher level in your career or your business, but opportunities come from in your spiritual self. There are opportunities for your family. It could be that you're so busy that you don't spend the appropriate time with your family, and you wonder why it is that your children don't talk to you. It's because maybe you are too busy. Let me give you an example, and then we're going to go on to the second thing that being busy will keep from you. Remember, the first thing that busyness that will keep from you is you miss God-given opportunities in all these areas of your life. I will never forget this. This changed me forever. Okay. My son said to me, he was probably in maybe the 7th or 8th grade. And I think he was in the 8th grade. I believe it was the 8th grade. But my son said to me, he said, I said, Bradley, why don't you just come in here? And I'm in here, meaning in my office. Okay. Why don't you just come in here in the office, Bradley, and I'll help you with whatever that is I need to help you with. And he said, Mom, I don't want to disturb you because you look busy doing what you're doing. So in his eyes, I was looking busy, but that's not the part that I want you to get right here. The family opportunity that I almost missed was the fact that he didn't want to disturb me and he needed help. That's an opportunity, y'all. When your children or somebody in your family needs help, that's an opportunity. All right. And so there are opportunities that we miss because we are so busy, because we're busy doing things. My mom is on here right now. My mom and daddy will tell you that I will let things go. I will, my mama, this drives my mama crazy. And she's on here and she will tell you is that cleaning up for me, if something is dirty, it will stay dirty until I get to it, literally. Because cleaning up, if I'm here, it's just me and Dennis and Bradley, I'll make sure the house is clean for us. Okay. And I'm not nasty now, y'all, but I'll make sure the house is clean. But if I've got other things that are taking priority, then they're not going to happen. Now, let me tell you this right here. This is something I did. I had one of my sorority sisters just dying laughing over this one, is that this is an opportunity I guess, an opportunity in my personal development, my emotional health. I had so much going on one time, and the laundry needed to be done. Now, one thing that my husband nor my son can do is laundry. I got to teach him how to do it. Not my husband, because I'll do his stuff, but my son, I got to teach my son how to do laundry because he's getting ready to leave, right? And so, and then he said he learned how to do laundry on YouTube, but that's a whole nother story, right? So anyway, so one time I had not done laundry in 2 weeks. Now you can imagine having a son that plays ball all the time, changing clothes 2 and 3 times a day. You can imagine how the laundry was piled up, all right? And in the house, in our room, our room being my husband and I, the laundry was piled up. But I had things that were priority, and I just could not see myself. I could not figure out this separating the clothes would have taken like 45 minutes and this, that, and the other. So what I did was I said, my son needed some underwear. And I said, oh my God, I don't have time to wash clothes for Brad. I don't want to wash just a few pair of underwear. Let me go out here and if I'm going to wash all of it, right? You know what I did? I went to Walmart and I bought my child some more underwear because I did not feel like washing it and it just was not priority. But that's when I realized, you know what, Saundra, you've got to reprioritize and you've got to look at this differently. But you know what? At that minute, though, at that moment, going to Walmart and buying some more, right, helped my emotional self more so than sitting there for an hour trying to actually separate all those clothes and do all that sort of thing. All right. That actually helped me. And I know some of you were like, girl, you should just wash those clothes. But you know what? At that point, it helped me tremendously. Now, what I've done today is now I have systems. I have certain days that I do certain things, and I have certain days that I do laundry. I have certain days that I just do different things, go different places, get different things done. I make sure that as much as I can, everything gets done, but I have certain days of getting it done. Back then, I didn't have systems. All right. Now, one of the things that I do as a part of my home life, as a part of my business, as a part of my my career, all of that, I make sure that I have systems in place. And having a system in place just means I've got a way of doing things. I've got certain days that I do things to make things happen. Now, I'm a little bit off schedule this week, okay, because basketball season is here and we're all the time going at night, going to basketball games. But I'll tell you, I don't deviate from that much because when I do, again, I get too busy and I miss God's opportunities. Let me give you one more example in missing opportunities. Sometimes you miss opportunities that God has for you in your calling. You know, so many times we tell God, God, use me in my calling, or I want to walk in my calling. Well, let me help you. If you're going to do that, you've got to spend time with God to hear him so that you will not be so busy. You know, this whole busy thing really has got me this year because the one thing that I have heard over and over is women telling me that I'm too busy to do this or I'm too busy to do that. And I want to do this, but I'm too busy. I can't figure out where I can fit it in. And it's amazing that a part of the Action Plus Results Bootcamp, one of the things that we've done already this year, we've only had this is our second, just finished our second session. We just did our second session, and one of the things that we learned is that there are seasons for everything. And the Bible tells us it's a time and a season for everything under the heaven, and that everything in your life, everything that you're doing may need to get done, but this may not be the season that you need to do it in. And so we go over that. We talk about that. And I just got one of the ladies posted in the group, and I may share it with this group at some point, how just that teaching on seasons. And we actually look at all the different seasons. There are 4 seasons, and it's not spring, summer, winter, fall. Okay, it's not that. Okay. There are 4 seasons that we look at. And we look at our life, all the different areas that I told you, spiritual, family, physical. We look at all of those. And we ask ourselves, there's actually 10 of them, 10 areas of our life that we look at. And we ask ourselves, what season are we in each of those areas? Because I tell you what, you can get so busy that you miss God opportunities, but you can be so busy because you're doing the wrong work or the work, maybe work that you feel needs to be done, but you're doing it in the wrong season in your life. Sometimes we go back to school And we ask ourselves, oh my goodness, I can't do this. This is not working. I'm not able to finish school. And it could be because, not because it's not that you're not supposed to go back to school. It could be because it's now the season in your personal life for you to go back to school. It's now the season in your financial life that you should go back to school. Because see, I've learned, and one of the things I teach. Oh, and Della just said that was Della's in cohort 2 with Action Plus Results Bootcamp. And they just finished that activity. And yes, it is a powerful activity. It really helps you to look at every single area of your life and what season are you in. Because I will tell you, if you're doing work, then sometimes you think what you think is productive is busy, and then it keeps you from doing something else in another area. Okay, so just think about that. One of the things that busyness will keep from you is the fact that you miss God-given opportunities in every area of your life. And we define that there are 10 areas of your life. Let me do those quickly. Spirit, I already gave them to you, but I'll repeat them. If you don't get them this time, catch the replay. Spiritual, family, physical health, personal, your mental and emotional, career, relationships, finances, self-investment, ministry, and calling. Those are the 10 areas. Now, you may have some more that you want to add to that, and that is fine. But each of those areas of your life has a different season associated with it. And again, season is not spring, summer, winter, fall. Can't teach that here, but it's a whole different kind of teaching on seasons and what does God mean when he says the different seasons of your life. And here's the thing, when you're busy, you will miss the God opportunities in those areas of your life when you're too busy. Okay, thing number 2. What is the second thing that busyness will rob you of or will keep from you? The second thing is that it will keep from you God-given relationships and connections. Write that down. It will keep from you God-given relationships and connections. When you are too busy to actually hear from God and to be in certain places or do certain things, then there are certain relationships that you're going to miss because you're too busy. And I will tell you, the biggest relationship that you miss because you're too busy is your relationship with God. Okay, the biggest and most important relationship that you miss is that you don't, because you're busy, is your relationship with God. You don't develop that relationship. You must take the time to develop your relationships, okay? Because here's one of the things that I learned is that being busy and having all this stuff to do, it doesn't make you important. It makes you unavailable when it comes to relationships. Write that down. That being busy doesn't make you important, okay, to other people. Being busy makes you unavailable. Because here's what happens. People will say, and people say this to me a lot, I was going to call you, but I know how busy you are. Get that. How many of you have had that said to you? I was going to call you, but I know how busy you are. You don't know how busy I am, or you don't know what I have on my plate. Okay. So I miss out on opportunities. You miss out on opportunities because of me being busy. Sometimes people will say, Saundra, you're so busy that I didn't call you for this. Well, that's an opportunity that I miss because people think I'm busy. Okay. And I've learned that I'm not busy. I'm productive. You need to stop being or looking busy and be productive. Be productive so that you can get done and develop the relationships that God wants you to develop. You know, when you think of the, what is the Bible, Mary and Martha, if you remember, I think it's in Luke chapter 10. When you look at Luke chapter 10, there's a story of Mary and Martha, and where, Mary was running around and, was it Martha? No, Martha was running around doing all of this busy work and that sort of thing. You know, Martha was distracted because she was doing so much. And then when Jesus came in, and what the thing that Mary did, Mary actually sat there and was at Jesus's feet, right? Okay. Now, Mary was sitting at the feet of Jesus. Okay. So, but Martha And that was praised over Martha's busyness. Martha was getting a lot of stuff done. She was getting a lot of running here and there and everywhere, right? And go read the story if you don't know it. Martha was getting a lot done, but Mary prioritized. Come on now. Mary prioritized, and her priority was to sit at the feet of Jesus. How many of you, your priority, I'm not talking about stuff you have to do. I'm talking about how many of you, your priority is sitting at Jesus's feet every day. Now, what does that mean today? That means today that you are take time for prayer, take time for reading your word, take time for meditating on the word, allowing God's word to speak to you. That's what I mean by making sure that sitting at the feet of Jesus today. Some of you have more opportunity than others. And what I mean by that is you prioritize your time differently. Okay. One of the things I saw that my mentor posted, Dr. Shirley Brown posted, I think it was this morning or yesterday, is that her phone, she said her phone shows how much time she spends online, just online on her phone. She says her phone shows how much time she spends online. And then she said she challenged us to compare the amount of time that we spend online on our phone and ask ourselves, did we spend that much time with the Lord today? Yeah, I challenge you to do that. I haven't done it yet. Okay, but I'm going to. So, for example, if your phone says that you spent this amount of time, say it spent, 97 minutes online. Okay, so that's what, an hour and 37 minutes. So if you spend an hour and 37 minutes online on your phone, and your phone keeps up with it, right? Did you spend that same amount of time in God's word today? Because if you didn't, then you're going to miss out on that busyness or whatever kept you from spending that time with the Lord. As that busyness is going to keep you from opportunities in certain areas. That busyness is going to keep you from the kind of connections and kind of relationships that you should be developing. Okay? Because busyness will keep you from God-given opportunities. And busyness will keep you from God-given relationships and connections. Okay? You ladies and gentlemen, there are men on here too, I see. All right? We've got to learn to stop being so busy that you miss out on the things that God has for you. Okay, just like Mary and Martha, when you study and you look at the whole thing of being crazy busy. Okay, being crazy busy. Some of us say we're crazy busy, running here and there with our kids and doing this, that, and the other. And I totally get it. I've been there. My son is 18 now. He has his own car. He can drive to where he's got to go and do what he's got to do, that sort of thing. So I don't have the transport problem anymore. Okay. And I understand that some of you do, but I've been there. I've done that. But I also understood that when I was doing all of that and I wasn't spending the appropriate time with the Lord, what that did. The kinds of things that I missed out on, because I was so busy doing church work, doing community work, doing sorority work, doing work, okay, doing housework. I have to prioritize all of that now. And I prioritize on a daily basis. Okay, some people prioritize on a weekly basis. I prioritize on a daily basis. One of the things that we haven't gotten to it yet, but the ladies in cohort number 1 was able to do this. But one of the things that we do in the Action Plus Results Bootcamp is that we have a calendar, a literal calendar, hour by hour calendar, and you prioritize, okay? Because I will tell you, I thoroughly believe that I can have and do it all. I thoroughly believe I can have and do it all. I thoroughly believe that everything that God promised me in the Word is mine. I thoroughly believe that. Wholeheartedly, 100%, I believe that. But what I also believe is that there's a time and a season for me to do everything in my life. Everything. And when we learn how to operate in God's timing, then everything that God has for me in that time is mine. Come on now. You got to get this. You must get this. When I stop being busy and I start spending the appropriate time with the Lord, and appropriate is relative. That all depends on you. I'm not telling you that appropriate is an hour or appropriate is 2 hours, or I'm not telling you what appropriate is. Appropriate is whatever your time is that you need to spend with the Lord. But I will tell you, you must spend time with him. You must, like Mary, spend time at Jesus's feet. When I say Mary, I'm talking about Mary in the book of Luke. You must spend time at his feet, because if you don't, busyness will rob you. It'll rob you of your relationship with God because you're not spending time with him. Busyness will rob you of those opportunities that God has in store for you. Busyness will rob you of all of that because you just don't take the time to get it done. Believe me, between all the things that I have going on in my life, one of the things that I just did, I started in October. One of the things that I just did is started taking better care of my health. And like I showed some of you this. My brother's got me drinking. Can you see that? This kombucha, I think is how you say it. He's got me drinking this, and it really helps with my digestion, that sort of thing. And I really enjoy it. I exercise. I'm eating right. So by the time we got to the fast, our church does a fast in January, and our pastor says we're going to do more than just January. But right now we're doing January 21-day fast, no meats, no sweets, no breads. That's ours. And by the time I got to the fast, the food, I'm okay with the food, okay, because I've been eating right anyway. And so I'm able to say, okay, the food is not my focus. My focus is spending time with the Lord. Okay. And the whole time during the fast, I've had to teach Bible study along with our prayer leader and along with our pastor. The three of us have been teaching Bible study together. And so just being able to have that time now to spend with the Lord. Odella says, that's a great drink, lots of enzymes. Yeah, I can tell. I love the drink. I had to get used to it. My brother's got me drinking it. I love it. But anyway, so I'm just learning, y'all, taking better care of my health. And you know what? I have lost, ding, 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 5.4 pounds. Now that's enormous for me. But you know what? I can feel a difference. People have told me you look different. When you get fruits and vegetables in your body looks different. Okay. And so I'm telling you this because in the past, I would say, oh, I'm too busy to go to the grocery store and get some fruit. Let me just stop at the Chick-fil-A because I love fast food. Okay, I'm too busy to do this. Let me just go over here to Hardee's or Burger King or McDonald's. Love them all. Love all the fast food. Pizza is my favorite food. But you know what? I'm 56 years old. I can't eat like that every day. But again, my body is now a priority. Thank you, Della. My body is now a priority. My health is a priority. Okay, and when things become a priority, then you make the time to do it. So here's what I'm telling you, and what I want you to leave with on tonight. Make sure that your priorities are right. That's the strategy that you need to leave here with tonight. You need to make sure to look at your priorities and make sure your priorities are aligned with what it is that you say God is telling you to do. If you just stay busy, you're going to miss your God opportunities, and you're going to miss your God-given relationships and connections. You're going to miss them. But when you prioritize and you put God in everything that you do, I said this in the information that I emailed to you, and I think I put it in the group too, that I used to say that God is first, that I put God first in everything. Okay. Well, I've changed that. I changed that many, many years ago. My late pastor, Bishop Farrar, he said to us one time, he said, if God is first, and he should be, but if you make God first, then that means that what is second could possibly take God's place. Because if something is first and there's something that's coming behind, there's something that's second, okay, then what is second could possibly be first. Okay. And we do that all the time, y'all. We do it all the time. We say that God is first, our health is second, our family is third. Okay. Then what happens? Okay. You don't go get your exercising done, or then you start exercising and then you say you don't have enough time to spend with the Lord. Come on. Y'all know I'm right. Y'all know I am right. Okay. So here's the thing. Just put God in everything. Put God in everything. If you need to put scriptures on your bathroom wall, put them on your bathroom wall. Do whatever you need to do to put God in everything that you do. Okay. Everything that you do in your calling, in your career, in your spiritual development, of course, in your physical health, in your family relationships, in your ministry, in your business, in everything, on your job, everything that you do. Okay. Put God in it. Make sure that God is in it, because when God is not in it, you're not going to hear from him. You're not going to be able to hear from the Lord and hear what God is saying. Some of you want a promotion on your job, and it may be that God is the reason you're not getting a promotion is that's not where you're supposed to stay. Maybe there's something new, something different that God has for you. But you've got to remember, stop being so busy that you rob yourself of the opportunities and the relationships and the connections that God has for you. So the strategy that I want you to leave here with tonight is to learn to prioritize everything. One of the things that we did in the Action Plus Results Bootcamp is that we did a dump, literally a dump, and was a documented dump. It's a good word, huh? A documented dump of everything that we have assigned to us. Everything that we have assigned. So that may have been church and ministry and family and sorority and children and husband and I don't know, everything. Housework and everything got to be business. Some of you work and have a business. Okay. All that stuff. Okay. You had to dump it all out. Some of it is writing books, and some of you is starting ministries, and there's different things that you want to be able to do, right? So all of those things, we did a dump of that. Now we haven't finished this activity yet. Right now they've just done the first step, which is to put everything on paper. But the reason that you put it on paper is because you've got to be able to take those, prioritize it, and then take that and prioritize the time that you've got to be able to do the work associated with those actions. Okay? Because every action has work associated with it. You just don't do an action. There's an action and there's work associated with it. Then you get an outcome, you get a result, and that result has a certain impact. All right? And so one of the things that I am so excited about the Action Plus Results Bootcamp, and yes, I'm doing another one in February. So if you missed it in January, you still got another opportunity. As a matter of fact, the Lord has shown me, you know what, you need to do this, and I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm not teaching it live. So if you missed it live the last time, then you're going to miss part of it because we did it live. I'm doing some great recordings, and we're going to offer it to you again. It's going to be different because it'll be recorded, but you'll still get the same teaching. And I will tell you, ask anybody that has been in the boot camp. You need the boot camp if you have problems prioritizing, if there's so much that God has given you that you haven't had the opportunity to do, or you don't know how to do it all. Okay. And I will tell you that I thoroughly believe that yes, you can have and do it all, but God is the one that defines the all and when the all happens. And you have to understand that. And when you understand that, when you understand about prioritizing the things in your life, when you understand that that being busy will rob you of some things, then you will see yourself being able to say, you know what, let me step back for a minute and let me see what it is that I need to do and how I need to do this. Okay. And so I just wanted to bring tonight to you those two things that keep you from being busy. Remember, those two things that keep you from busy are God-given opportunities and God-given relationships and connections with people. Okay. And you get robbed of those when you don't spend the appropriate time. And appropriate again is on you. All right. When you don't spend the appropriate time with God. And so as you go through this week, my strategy for you is learn to prioritize. What takes priority for you to get something done? What action this week or tomorrow? If you don't want to do the whole week, just do tomorrow. Okay. What action takes priority for you tomorrow? Okay. Now tomorrow, for those of you watching on the replay, at the time this is being recorded, tomorrow is the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Okay. For some people, priority is going to one of the Martin Luther King Jr. events. There's several around town. I'm sure wherever you live, that there are several where you live also. But for me, tomorrow, that's not a priority. Okay. For me, the priority is being in the gym because my son has a basketball tournament tomorrow. Okay. So now, here's the thing. Here's a decision that I made. Could I go to an event in the morning and then go to his games in the afternoon? I probably could. But I have to also remember that there are things in my house that I do on Mondays that I've got to get done. So I have to make a priority. There'll be Martin Luther King Jr. I'm not downing it. Believe me. I was in Selma on the 50th anniversary. The voting rights and all that stuff means so much to me. And that's a whole other teaching. I could teach an hour on just the whole civil rights and voting thing, because I experienced that with them in Selma and the 50th anniversary and heard those people speak who were there, who got beaten on the bridge, all that. I heard that. But I also know that one of my priorities is to take care of my household. A woman who runs her house well, Proverbs 31. I want to be a Proverbs 31 woman. Well, I can do that, but that woman set priorities. You're not going to tell me she didn't set priorities, because she did. Okay, she did. Okay, so tomorrow, my priority is getting things done here in my house and going to the games with my son. So some of your so look at your tomorrow. What are your priorities tomorrow? So your priority may be to go to the Martin Luther King event, or some of you may even be speaking at one. Do what you got to do, but just make sure that every day you know what your priorities are. And in that, make sure that your number one priority is spending time in the Word, spending time with God. Because when you do that, then He'll help you make some decisions on your other priorities. That's one of the things that we are teaching this time in the Action Plus Results Bootcamp, is decisions that align with your actions. Okay, decisions that align with your actions and your anointing, how all that lines up. So anyway, I'm out of time tonight, y'all. And so I'm trying to do 45 minutes and let that be it. So I'm out of time on tonight. I hope you all got something out of this. I really am focused this month on don't start this year busy. Don't start it busy, y'all. Start this year such that you get actions, you take the right actions, you get the right results. Do not let your busyness rob you of your God-given opportunities and your God-given relationships and connections, and make sure that you prioritize every single day. Prioritize every single day. If you're not on my email list, please go back in the thread and go to drsaundraspeaks.com, drsaundraspeaks.com. Get on my email list, and I look so forward to continued communication. 2020, y'all, as I said, is a year of action plus results. Action plus results. Love y'all. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.